Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Mavens, home of the spicy double feature. I'm your host, Carson Green.
And I'm your other host, Annie Janes. This week's spicy dub is Roadhouse and Brokeback Mountain.
What an interesting double feature. These are two opposite spectrum movies starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. What's the spectrum?
Well, one is very tender and slow and a romance. And one is an action, fast, biting, a little silly even.
Yes. I will say that both deal with like masculinity.
Totally. Yeah.
And they display it in a number of different ways. I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I ended up also watching the original Roadhouse.
Interesting.
Because after having watched the first one, I was like, fuck, I don't want to watch that other one. A little foreshadowing of my review. And then I heard people talking about it, and they were like saying that that the original was like a lot different.
Yeah, that's what my dad was saying too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, maybe I should watch it. So I did watch the original just to know what it was like. I do stand by the decision though to watch Brokeback Mountain instead.
That's so real. Yeah,
it felt more like homework, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, before we jump into the review, though, I would like a word with the listeners. Annie, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, yes. I'll leave the room.
Dear listener, thank you for listening. Number one, we appreciate you. We love you. Shout out. Annie and I are looking to just kind of reach new horizons, expand the show, and we need your help in doing so. And so I specifically am calling upon you to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, or literally just hit 5-star review on Spotify, wherever you are. It would really, really help. And we can see you listening. We know you're out there. We know you're listening. All you got to do is just drop us a line, and that would really help tremendously.
I never left. I'm so sorry. I heard all of that. You could also send it to a friend. That would be really helpful too. Finding new podcasts is hard, and it gets harder and harder as the field is eaten up by goddamn famous people and professionals.
Yeah.
So support your indie podcast, independent podcast.
Yeah.
No ads, no sponsors. Just two girls hanging out. Send it to a friend.
Also, follow us on Instagram at Movie Mavens, or follow either of us, me or Annie, on Instagram, and reach out. We want to talk to you. We want to know what you're watching. We want to know what you think about the podcast. Hit us up. We're all ears. Okay, but for now, though, let's get on with the show, and we'll be all mouths.
I'm not going to listen to a damn thing you say.
Shall we talk about Roadhouse?
Yes, let's do it.
A friend of mine suggested I come talk to you. I own a roadhouse out in the Florida Keys. Lately, it's been attracting the wrong clientele. I can pay you good money. Judging by your car, you need that.
Well, I like my car.
Think about it.
Come on, bro. I know who you are. Elwood Dalton. Big fan, man.
That guy's got a knife under his shirt. You just take a big step back and pop me in the face. You can do it.
Tell me about this bouncer.
Yeah, it's all nice, like he's Mr. Rogers or something, but then he'll haul off. Really interesting guy, overall.
Annie, please hit me with some facts.
We're talking about the Roadhouse that just hit Prime on March 8th, 2024. It's directed by Doug Liman. Doug Liman, promising guy here. We got Edge of Tomorrow. We got Born Identity. We got Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Wow.
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Sure is.
We have been doing a lot of Jake recently, and I know Carson's pleased with that. It's also starring Daniela Melchior, Billy Magnuson, Conor McGregor, and Jesse Williams. Here's the description from IMDb. Ex-UFC fighter Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at a Florida Keys roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not all it seems. It has a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, Carson, what did you think? And tell me what you know about the original.
Okay, I did not know anything about the original. However, a few weeks ago, I ate at this restaurant in Malibu called Patrick's Roadhouse, named after Patrick Swayze and the movie Roadhouse. And that was quite an interesting experience. I have no idea what the movie's about. And so I was kind of going into this blind. The only thing I knew about this Roadhouse was that Jake Gyllenhaal was in it, and he played a fighter of some kind.
Were they playing Roadhouse in the restaurant?
No, this restaurant was actually the weirdest place I've ever been to be quite honest with you. I went into the bathroom. This is a little bit of a strange tangent here, but I went into the bathroom. I sat down in the stall, and literally directly in front of me was a cross-stitch, framed cross-stitch of the Pledge of Allegiance. And there was just a lot of different strange memorabilia. Like, then above the sink, there was like an alligator head, like a taxidermied alligator head. Very strange, very bizarre.
What did you eat there?
I attempted to order the gluten-free pancakes. My waitress was on drugs. Like, it was a whole deal. There was a lot going on.
So you don't recommend the restaurant, it sounds
No, I don't recommend the restaurant. No. Don't go to Patrick's Roadhouse in Malibu. Anyway, so to say that I was excited to watch this movie would be an understatement, to be honest.
And did it live up to your crazy high expectations?
No, this movie sucked. It did. There was okay, number one, let me just straight away. This movie felt like a movie of yore. It felt like there was just a lot of stereotype, there was a lot of trope, there was a lot of masculinity, there was a lot of testosterone, and there was a lot of guns, violence, etc., and it just kind of felt dated. Even though this movie came out this year, like, it felt very like a man in whose career peaked in the early 2000s trying to hang on to that genre, which we collectively have moved on from, I feel.
It was insane how outdated it was.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Doug Liman doesn't direct like this normally, so it had to have been like a choice. It's kind of crazy how he nailed what those movies were like. I don't think it was a good choice because I don't like it, but like he really portrayed like what those movies were like. It was nuts. Like, down to some of like just the way that there were just fucking bandits.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, at all times, like, it's basically like a bandit is the only way I can describe these, like, or hoodlums fucking this town up. They're in the water, they're on land, they're everywhere. And that was what felt very 90s to me. It's just like there's bad guys everywhere.
Yeah. God. Yeah, it was kind of strange, honestly. It was just like, this is not the world that we live in anymore. And also even the story felt dated. Like, this guy trying to live up to step in his father's shoes, and his father being disappointed in having to step in and fix everything. Kind of a la like Love Lies Bleeding that we saw done, I thought, wonderfully a couple of weeks ago. This one fell flat. So to explain, there is this roadhouse. This woman approaches Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who is an ex-UFC fighter, and says, please come and protect my roadhouse from bandits. It's being overrun. I'll pay you $20,000. Jake is like, okay, fine. And he gets there, and the bandits are tied up with this guy who is doing what? We're not really told until a very long way into the movie. He also has bought the police in a way that is really strange and not done successfully, in my opinion. And so there's just like some intermingling of like crime and also the law. But then like the roadhouse also plays into it. Like, it felt like it wanted to do so many different things, and I don't think that it executed one of them well.
The reason why this roadhouse has like literal bandits tearing the place apart every night doesn't add up to me. I do like when we are introduced to the bad guy and he's like, I want it for real estate. I'm like, okay, I think I get that. But then because of how over the top the movie is, and not in a fun way to make it camp, just in a weird way, like, I'm like, wait, why are we doing this again? I don't know. It was not good. It felt so dated, and by now I've forgotten half of it already. But I'm curious, what did you think about Jake's performance?
I think that he did the best he could with the material that he was given. He also is in like the best shape of his life. He looks insane. He looks crazy. The way that he just had control of his body was so impressive. That's so impressive to me for when people transform themselves in a way like that for a role. I think though, like the script was so cheesy. Like some of his line deliveries, I don't think it was his performance per se. I think it was just a bad script. I'm interested why he said yes to this. I think probably like it had something to do with just the notoriety of the original maybe, and he wanted to be involved in this remake project. But it was just like, Jakey boy, what are you doing here? Post Malone was also playing a fighter in one scene.
That's right. And Conor McGregor.
What was Conor McGregor's performance? What was that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It didn't work for me at all.
Me neither. He was so weird.
I agree. Jake was doing he's doing what he could, but still, like, it was so funny to me how he was just kind of like smiling the whole time.
Yeah, he was just happy to be there.
That's kind of how it was, yeah. And it got a little cool when he's like, fine, I will be violent and take you guys down. But it didn't like, I wanted him to transform there and just be like a badass at that point, but It didn't really go in that direction after all.
No, it really didn't. Yeah, he was like, you've made me angry, and it takes a lot to make me angry. I did like all of his thing. Like, I did like his thing that was like, I'm going to break your arm now. And then he would break the people's arm. And
like
then
the hospital thing.
Whenever he drove everybody to the hospital, like that was silly. That was cute.
Yeah, he was a little goofy, which didn't always work for me, but I liked how he tried that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense. The original doesn't make sense either. But at least it's like truly in the 80s, so there's mullets and titties and whatnot. So
oh my god. Okay, let's talk about the love interest.
Yeah. I literally said out loud, like, I bet that's the daughter, like, right when she showed up.
That was so, yeah, it felt dated. It also felt so forced. Like, of all of the elements that we had the bookstore, we had the roadhouse, we had the guy on the yacht and his father in jail, we had Conor McGregor being a psychopath, we had the cops, multiple cops. And then on top of that, we had a very forced love interest.
I think that normally that wouldn't be too much. I just think this movie, it just doesn't know what it's doing. And I didn't love the action for real.
I did not like that camera work. It felt like what I would imagine like a teenage boy would want an action movie to look like.
And honestly, there's just, this movie feels very seeped in like male fantasy of like a movie about a bouncer. And in the original, it's even way more so that in that it's like the best bouncer in the world kind of deal where I'm like, that's not a thing. It's a hard pass for me.
Same, can't recommend. I'm ready to score you.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Damn, I'm going to give it a 3.
Ooh, okay. 4 out of 10 movie Maven score. Let's talk about Brokeback Mountain.
Thank God. Annie, please hit me with some facts.
This came out in 2005. It was written by Larry McCurdy and Diana Osana. It was directed by Ang Lee, starring Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michelle Williams, and Anne Hathaway. It was nominated for Best Picture. It won Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Original Score. Crash won for Best Picture. Here is the description from IMDb. Ennis and Jack are two shepherds who develop a sexual and emotional relationship. Their relationship becomes complicated when both of them get married to their respective girlfriends. And it takes place in the 60s. I think it should say that in the description because that is a huge part of the plot.
Yeah.
It's the time that we're in.
Yeah.
It has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, Carson, dive in a little more to this premise and also just tell us what you think about the movie.
Yes. Okay. So, it spans like 20 years, which I didn't realize. And it takes place in like basically like Wyoming, but also Texas a little bit. And it's just like two cowboys and who have this love affair.
While on the job.
Yep. And they also recognize what it's like and what could potentially happen as a gay cowboy. And so they're trying to, and they do live their straight boy lives and meet up on occasion to, you know, have relations and etc. I really like this movie. I really like the idea, the exploration of gay cowboy just as a theme. I also really like exploring homophobia and kind of addressing like what that looks like for even just like microaggressions, like what that looks like for different people. I had some issue with the pacing of this movie.
Do tell.
I really liked our first rendezvous. Well, like I said, this movie takes place over 20 years. I liked our first rendezvous where we were on Brokeback Mountain. They fall in love doing this shepherd job one summer. And then Heath Ledger gets married. Jake Gyllenhaal goes to be a cowboy or be a rodeo cowboy for a little while. And then he gets married. And we get like several... over the course of 20 years, like we probably saw them get together like 5 or 6 different times. And I don't think that each time we saw them together, it like added anything to the plot. But then also like we weren't getting sex scenes. So like I really wasn't sure like why. I guess it was just like to show that they were still in love. I don't know. I definitely had some issue. What about you?
Yeah, I have a similar issue, but it's sort of from a different angle. So this movie, like, doesn't really have plot. It just is like watching a chunk of somebody's life. And I normally don't vibe with that as a movie.
And I do. I love that.
Okay, yeah. I was like, well, why does this not work for me? It normally doesn't, but why does something like Benjamin Button work for me? Which is the same thing. There isn't really a plot. It's just like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then they died. Like, that's like what these movies are like. Forrest Gump is another example. And Gus pointed it out. It's because of the editing. Like, Brokeback Mountain is just like thrown together, basically. And Benjamin Button is like, it has an edit. And editing is just so hard to explain and to teach. And like half of editing is technical knowledge, and the other half is like something in here. I'm patting my heart. It's like something you have to have the instincts for.
Yeah. Because
there aren't rules, but there are rules, you know? So, and anyways, Brokeback Mountain, to me, the pacing, which is my problem. To me, the pacing, though, felt like it was this literal same frequency the entire time. It didn't matter if they were having sex for the first time. It didn't matter if, like, their wives were mad at them. It didn't matter if they were arguing. Everything was just at the same pace of just, like, mild. And, you know me, I love a little thrill here and there. Yeah. And this movie wasn't interested in doing that. But despite that, like, you can't help but connect with these people because you're just with them so much. And the people that really like, you know, movies like this, they like it in the way of being immersed in somebody's life. Whereas I like to be immersed in like a story in a world, and it's just like different preferences. Yeah. All that being said, I still felt physically achingly sad at the end. Like, it still got me.
Me too. Yeah.
So props for that.
You know, I think it does a really good job of, especially in Ennis's character played by Heath Ledger, it does a really good job of exploring shame, but not really exploring it. Like, he has a lot of like suppressed, I feel like everything is suppressed. Like, he internalized everything, and to the point where it ruined his life at the end of the day. Like, you know, he had nothing. His wife left him. He didn't have two pennies to rub together. He couldn't keep a job. All he had was these rendezvous with Jake Gyllenhaal's character.
All he had was Brokeback. And, you know, at one point, Jake Gyllenhaal's character says to him, like, let's get a ranch together. Let's, like, at a few points.
Yeah. Let's build a life together.
Jinx.
And Ennis he just had so much shame. He was carrying so much shame, which, I don't know, that just, like, it sucks that homophobia, like, it's so recent. I mean, it's still, like, people are still enduring homophobia and shame in this way. It's just, like, so recent. Like, this, I think the movie ended like in the early 80s, probably mid 80s. That's just so recent for this to be such a huge deal in someone's life, to like have to hide who they were.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It really is.
Okay, I have a problem with the ending, and it's like, it's frustrating because when you're describing that, I'm like, it's all there. Like, all the emotion is there. So Heath Ledger's character, Ennis, he has a traumatic event that he just talks about, and we, the audience, see glimpses of his dad showing him somebody that was like physically beaten to death because they were gay. And his dad showed it to him like a lesson, like, here are the consequences. And spoilers for Brokeback Mountain. Here they come. We haven't done it yet, but I'm about to go check it out. I think everyone should see this movie. There's your warning. Okay, so when Jake Gyllenhaal, when he learns that he's dead, also unceremoniously like postcard deceased. I'm like, where's the drama? Like, it's just so flat. Anyways, when he learns about what happened, he's hearing from Anne Hathaway, but we're cutting to what really happened, which is that Jake Gyllenhaal was beat to death. Heath Ledger knows that that's what really happened because he saw it happen. And like, for that to happen to the love of his life, that is so sad. And for him to like realize he should have just like done what he wanted and lived with Jake.
Yeah.
To me, that is really sad and would make a great ending. And I don't like how we end with this scene with the daughter. Because I think what it's trying to show instead is like, see, he's changed because he said, no, I won't go to work. I'll go to your wedding. Like, I think it's trying to be like, and the character's changed. Like, he realized his mistake and now he's changing his life around those that he loves. But
I didn't read it that way.
Okay, how did you read it?
Okay, because Alma says, Ennis's ex-wife, Alma, played by Michelle Williams, she says to him at one point, like she's talking about how he can't hold a job. And then he says to Jake's character at one point, like, whatever, I'll just quit my job. And I think it's like a theme of like he just literally can't hold work. And so I didn't read it as, sorry, I can't make it to your wedding. I have to work. And then he says like, oh, whatever, sure, I'll go. I read it as like he's falling into his old habits. Like he's not going to change. He'll just quit his job, whatever. It doesn't matter.
But okay, so his last words, the last line of the film, he's like looking at the postcard of Brokeback. And what does he say? He says I promise, Jack, or
I think he literally just says, oh, Jack.
Let's see. Jack, I swear. That's what he says. And I just feel so lost. I just feel lost because what you're saying to me is true. He did quit his job all the damn time.
Yeah.
So what the hell? Is it just showing like it's been more years and he still cares? I don't know. I wanted more drama personally because I was achingly physically sad. It got that, but it didn't make me cry. Didn't get me there. Did you? Were you moved to tears here?
No, I don't think I cared about them enough, to be honest.
On your note about how they would meet up and it wouldn't advance the plot, still no plot. When there's no plot, you should really learn characters, but I don't know. I don't know that I really learned them all that much either because a lot of the screen time was just kind of dedicated to them like doing things, like doing cowboy stuff or stuff like that.
I did like all those shots. I mean, I really liked, like, I loved being in the woods with them and being literally on Brokeback. Like, it was all beautiful. It was very cinematic. Like, the only thing I really got from their repeated meetups was that Jack was way more in love with Ennis and like had a lot more passion about their relationship than Ennis did. But I think it was like that from the beginning though. Like Ennis told him like, this is all it's going to be. This is all it can be. And Jack continuously tried to persuade him to being in like a full blown relationship.
I don't know if it was like because Ennis didn't love him. I feel like it was because of that shame.
Yeah.
Like Jack was more okay with his sexuality because like we learn at the end that he like fell in love with another guy like to the same degree basically. And like he goes to Mexico. So I think he's just more okay with his sexuality, whereas like I think Heath Ledger is like, no, I'm not gay. I just really love this one man. And but also I'm not gay. Like that was his vibe.
Yeah.
I think that this movie looks bad though. I don't like the cinematography. I don't know how they shot where they shot and it didn't look, I wasn't like gasping because I didn't love how it, I don't know. I just didn't love how it looked. It was pretty like bland.
It looked kind of cheap.
Yeah. And it probably because they just shot with natural light, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's so hard to shoot outside.
Mm-hmm.
So hard. But Dune was shot in natural light, just saying.
Where?
The sand place, where all the sand is.
Well, that's different. It looks different. It's literally orange. Oh, it's different when it's green.
It's different when there's trees and stuff. Yeah, I'm ready to score.
Okay, actually, one last thing. I do want to say that while I appreciate that this movie came out in 2005 and it is depicting a gay story, it is ultimately two straight men playing gay characters. And I really, really appreciate how far we've come. Sorry to bring it up again, but Love Lies Bleeding, we had two lesbian characters played by two actual lesbians, and that just like it's really promising to see that growth in Hollywood, and I appreciate it.
For sure. I mean, this movie honestly was very important to cinema.
You know, I'm sure it did a lot for pop culture too. I think like it probably, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, huge actors, very manly. And I think like them being like, sure, I'll be gay for this movie, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal. Right.
Right. Yeah. Actually, Jake did an interview and someone asked him, what was it like kissing Heath Ledger? And he was like, it's just like, I wasn't attracted to him, but that's my job. I kiss people I'm not necessarily attracted to sometimes. And like, that's what the job is. And I just really appreciate how casual he handled that obviously homophobic question.
What was it like kissing a boy?
Yeah.
That's what they were asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that Heath Ledger kissed Jake Gyllenhaal so hard he almost broke his nose?
That's
in this
so
movie?
hot. That's hot.
I know. And apparently Michelle Williams was the one to give them the direction of like, no, you need to be more aggressive, which I actually don't love the aggressive intimacy. This movie, we haven't mentioned this, but it is seeped in masculinity in a totally different way. Like there's so much fucking man.
Yeah.
Like man v man watching two goats with horns ram their heads together.
Yeah, it's like they love each other so much, but their love is going to boil into they're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Literally, it feels like when, and this literally happens, which I think is hilarious, but it's like when two boy kids fight, and then, but they're play fighting, and then it somehow turns to real fighting. And it's like, that was them playing fighting, real fighting, and kissing. Like, it got too intense, and now they're fighting. And like, I just cannot resonate with that at all. I just like just beating people up. I just am so far removed from that.
Likewise. Yeah, likewise.
So, yeah.
Okay, final thing, not even about the movie, but I love Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway's chemistry. You should watch Love and Other Drugs. Have you seen that movie?
No, but it popped up and I was like, look, it's them together again.
It's so good.
They look like siblings, not in a creepy way. Like they could play siblings as well because they both have these huge eyes, brown hair.
Yeah.
I know that Jake has a sibling out there already, but come on.
Wow. Yeah. You should
Anne.
watch. I recommend Love and Other Drugs. It's so hot.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, well, are you ready to score? Go ahead.
I will give it a 7.5. No, 7. Sorry, I don't know why I said half.
Okay. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. I was in between. So thus be 7.5 Movie Mavens score. Perfect.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Well, folks, that's our show. Thanks for listening. If you have a recommendations for next week's Spicy Double Feature, send us a message on Instagram at Movie Mavens or shoot us an email at moviemavenspodcast@gmail.com. And that's it. Movie Mavens all the way out.